Libya's post-Gaddafi world is showing a lurch towards radical Islam, with strict Sharia law and Al-Qaeda flags in evidence there. It's barely a week since NATO moved out after the campaign to swap a dictator for democracy. Yet the alliance and the US don't seem too concerned about the shape it's taking. Gani Chichikan explains why.
Cheer first, question later. Not so long ago, the US media presented Libyan rebels as freedom-loving folks yearning for democracy. After Gaddafi's killing, the narrative changed.
You know, you talk about this Arab Spring, and many people viewed it here as a move towards democracy. But really, that is not exactly what's going on.
It seems the US media just woke up to the unfolding human rights disaster in the region.
Libya's new rulers are at risk of being accused of the same kind of abuses they fought to overthrow.
An Al-Qaeda flag planted on a Libyan courthouse stirred quite some panic. And not just that.
You had the interim leader coming out and saying he hoped it would become an Islamic state, that polygamy was going to be legal again, consistent with Sharia law.
Sharia law to include punishments such as cutting off the hands of thieves, beheading convicted murderers and rapists, stoning to death adulterers.
Sharia law, which is about to be introduced in Libya, is considered to be for the most part incompatible with democratic values, especially when it comes to women's rights. But many experts believe that whatever the new Libyan government's domestic policies, it will not stop the US from making nice with them.
Saudi Arabia, for instance, has the most extreme form of Sharia law. Women are not allowed to drive cars, they're not allowed to vote. The crime for adultery for women is the death penalty in Saudi Arabia. And none of this seems to bother the powers that be in Washington. Why? Because Saudi Arabia does the bidding of the United States in this oil-rich region.
Saudi Arabia being a dictatorship and not a democratic state, yet America is a big ally and a big supporter of Saudi Arabia. That just shows that we really don't care for working with democracies, or we're working with dictatorships, or we're working with secular governments or religious governments. What we care about is our interests in the region.
Bahrain, another US ally in the region. It hosts America's Fifth Fleet and also lives under Sharia law and has a questionable human rights record. As for Libya, those in power are there only thanks to NATO, and particularly the United States. The media here had generally been supportive of the campaign to topple Gaddafi. But now that he's gone, why the sudden concern about human rights in Libya? Maybe out of old habit, so well demonstrated in the run-up to the Iraq War, when the media cheered first and then, when it was too late, when the war was full on, started asking questions. Analysts say human rights in Libya was never a top priority for those in Washington who called the shots and threw their support behind the current Libyan government. I'm Gani Chichikan reporting from Washington, RT.